Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is the Orange Jeep Dad channel. It's a channel for homesteading, being self-sufficient, and earning income from home. And I kind of have two crowds on this channel, and it's kind of hard to make material that satisfies both. I don't think you can, but recently I've been talking about blogging from home for an income. And unfortunately, I was going to speak at a conference up in Coeur d'Alene in October and give a couple of sessions on how to blog from home, but they've canceled it because of the virus. So anyway, I do have some videos in the works about all the projects I've got going on here at the homestead. I got a ton of things going on, but for now, I just wanted to quickly answer an email or a question that I got from someone on a website. It's pretty lengthy, and it would take me a while to answer, and I'm sitting in some online classes today. I'm halfway through my doctorate, so I still have classes that I have to do online, and I've got about a half-hour break here, so I thought I'd answer this question. I missed it a few days ago. He just reminded me of it. So this is from a user named Wooten, and he said, I hope you don't mind me asking a few questions regarding your journey. I haven't gone through all the thread at this point, as it would take me like 12 hours to read everything. And while I do plan on taking the time, I'm very curious to ask you straightforward. So for those of you that don't know, I've been blogging, so to speak, my journey of blogging, about blogging, for the past, over the past year at a website called blackhatworld.com. And I have a thread going on that I've been posting all my progress with my personal blogs. And at this point, it's over like 95 pages. So it's a long read, but it's got a lot of good information in it. And it's not just what I've been doing, but it's what other people have recommended, a great dialogue amongst bloggers. But question number one, he says, I recently came across that Project 24 thing and am super curious whether it's a sham or does creating high quality content without promotion actually work these days. And I'll stop there because there's more to that question. But first of all, I don't speak for Project 24. I want to make that clear. I'm not a part of the company. I don't have any affiliate links to them anymore. I don't get paid by them for anything at this point. And I would still recommend them because of actually several things. One, it gives you an actual checklist of what to do every day for 60 days last time I checked. Maybe it was 60 days. Now I can't even remember that part. But anyway, they'll hold your hand, and if you can afford to buy into their program, because it is pricey, they hold your hand a lot. There's a community of people there that are all members that help each other out with problems and to solve issues and share ideas. And there's a lot of reasons why it's good to work within a group of cohorts or peers that you can ask questions to and solve problems with. It was like $499 to join last time I checked, which is something I could never afford or chose not to prioritize over other things in my life. So he goes on to say, I'm planning my own journey and currently trying to build a long-term strategy of how to approach things, how much to invest versus how much of work should I do myself. What is your opinion after doing this a little over a year? So I have no issue hiring out content. I've done it in the past. I went through Black Hat World to find writers. I went through several writers. I tried iWriter.com based on Income School's recommendation. The thing you really have to do there if you're going to hire out writers is stick with one and keep telling them what you like and keep correcting them until you whittle them down to the type of writers you want them to be. If you can't get them to that point, you have to move on to somebody else. But I found some that I was able, over 6 months, I would say, I don't like that writer, please don't let them back. They were obvious non-English speakers that couldn't write in English. Their sentences didn't make sense. They used words we don't use. And it was more time to correct it than it would have been if I write it myself. Now, that being said, it's better that you write it yourself because, it depends on if you like the topic or not. If you picked jewelry making and you hate jewelry, it's going to be a real struggle to write about it. That's why in my journey, I preached picking niches that you're interested in because that way you'll stay motivated to write about them. Doesn't mean you'll always have something to write about, but at least you'll have the interest. Like my kayaking blog, I love kayaking. I'm running out of stuff to talk about because I'm just not quite sure. After about 65 articles, I'm thinking, okay, what else is there to say? That doesn't mean there's not more content. I just have to put my thinking cap on, do my research. But you can hire out writers. You can there's a guy named Nerva on Black Hat World that's becomes very highly recommended. I haven't used him, but I know people who have. And I believe he runs packages of 10,000 words for $250. You can get that in, a 4-pack of 2,500 words, or you can break it down 10 1,000 word articles, whatever you want to do. And it takes a few weeks, maybe a month to get that much content. But if you can write it yourself, do it that way. If you don't have time, hire it out. The ones that I've hired out, I could edit their stuff in maybe 30 minutes. And I've had some stuff that took me hours to just try to move paragraphs around and make sense out of what they said. And the thing about hiring out is if you get writer's block, which you can, it's a thing for me. If you can't think of how to start it, or you feel like you're always starting your post the same way, I mean, it's the same issue writers across the board face, whether they're bloggers or not. Sometimes you need a kickstart. So if you can drop 10 or 20 bucks on a 500 or 1,000 word post from somebody, at least it'll give you a kickstart. And you can start rearranging things and adding images and adding headers or headings, highlights, bolds, bucket brigades. There's a lot of things. That's all the SEO. There's a lot of things you can put in an article to make it stand out, have it get picked up by Google faster. So that's my opinion on hiring out versus doing your own. How much to invest, man, that's up to you. High quality content, I think, is still, really, that's what this is all about. The internet, in my opinion, is becoming the new generation of Encyclopedia Britannica, if you know what those are. If you ever wanted to know something, you used to go to the Encyclopedia Britannica, and it had everything about the world in it. Now you go on the internet, whether you use Google or Bing or whatever, you search your question, and there it is. So our jobs now as bloggers, at least in this realm, is to answer questions as succinctly and quickly and as best as we can. The days of keyword stuffing and fluff and writing a 5,000 word article to add, or a 5,000 word article to talk about the shape of a square or whatever are over. You just need to get to the point. I see 500 word articles ranking in the #1 slot on SERPs now. So just get right to the point, put your answer right at the top. Income School used to teach that. I don't know if they do anymore, but your blog post title is the question. The first thing you say is the answer, and you bold it, and then you go on to talk about it. That's what Google's going to like. That's what the users are going to like. They're going to want to get there, find the answer, and move on. Does it affect your bounce rate? Yeah, if you give them the answer right up front, they're going to bounce right after they get their answer. But if they're interested in the topic, which some of them are, they'll stay and read, and that's where you get your view time. Number 2, according to the P24 income spreadsheet, your income is supposed to be around $1,000 a month after 12 months or so, and they claim it's rather modest numbers. My understanding is that you have not reached these numbers with all your sites put together. If so, why is that in your opinion? So I don't believe that's what it is. I haven't checked out their site in quite a while, but I'm pretty sure month 12, you should be making $250 a month or something like that, with a cumulative total maybe around 600 or something, and that's your last 3 months. Because I remember, at least when I saw it, you didn't make anything until month 6th or 7th, zero, because you're just working on the blog. In fact, I recommend not even putting anything on it till you're getting 3,000 or 5,000 page views a month, and even at that, you're not going to make anything. Adsense is the only thing that's going to let you on board, and they're not going to pay squat. And I just posted in the journey thread about my numbers that I'm on Monumetric now versus the numbers I had from Adsense, and I'm making way more on Monumetric than I did on Adsense. AdSense is a joke. I mean, no offense to Google, but I mean, what's the point of even installing that thing and slowing your page speed down if you're going to make 7 cents a day? Um, no, I'm not making. So my website, my main niche, my radiology website's been making a couple $100 a month for several months now, which is, I believe, right in line with the income school if they're still doing the same model. As far as well, I think that answers the question. Their numbers were modest. I remember that. And my other blogs haven't made much because I haven't dedicated the time to them like I had my main niche. My main niche, radiology, is my career. So I see that every day. I see problems every day, so I turn those into blog posts. I see products every day, so I talk about the products. So I've really focused on that one. And if I remember right, the group at Income School was slowly starting to get away from cranking out a new blog every 6 months or whatever it was. Now they understand you can't really turn and burn the way they used to. But again, I'm not speaking for them. You need to go see what they have to say about all that stuff. Let's see. Number 3, have you been able to do a positive ROI? If it's not a secret, can you share your data on how much you've invested in total versus your total revenue? Honestly, I've lost track. In my journey, I've posted everything. So if you want to know how much I've spent, I wrote everything down as it was kind of like a diary for me, an online diary. And I posted every time I paid for a hosting package or a plugin or a theme, or for somebody to come in and try to make the site go faster, which didn't work. I've had contests that cost me, I don't remember, but I did a contest. I think it cost me $300 in prizes and whatnot, and for the plugin, and I think I got 30 or 50 subscribers to my newsletter, so I didn't really feel like that was worth it, but maybe it was, I don't know. So no, I can't tell you everything. I'm not tracking it that closely. I can tell you I'm not really spending a whole lot on it now. I mean, the hosting package is an annual payment. The theme is paid for. All I do now is add content. In hindsight, would you still recommend to go with P24 Method, or would you go with doing active backlinking? You need to check and see what P24 is saying. I was told by other people that they're now promoting backlinking, and I think at first they may have realized, or at first they thought they could do it without it, but over time they realized you need it. So I would still recommend P24 because of the community and because of the hand holding, and that's very important when you're starting out in something new. But I would also backlink. I do. In fact, in my journey, I talked all about how I approached Facebook and took hold of some groups, and I admin 3 groups in my niche, which means I can post as many times a day as I want about my content. It has one group has 56,000 members, down to, I've tried to start my own. It's been probably 8 months since I started my own, and it still only has 600 members. So, you know, I'm not an expert on how to create a Facebook group, but I am pretty good at figuring out how to get into being an admin or a moderator. And I posted all that in my journey. So number 5, probably the most curious to me, why did you go with your own face personality instead of a blog persona or just faceless brand? I take it you have no issues in going public, and it's probably less of a hassle for you due to your niche, but are there any other benefits of this that you may have noticed? So I did not learn about blog personas until after I started this. I can't remember the course that I went through, but someone gifted me a course that was pretty in-depth, and that course started out with how to create a blog persona, how to grab a generic picture off the internet, how to make up a name, how to set up a Gmail and a Hotmail for that account, and then set up all your blogs and everything under that fake blog persona, with the purpose being that you intend to sell that blog someday, and where I might have problems selling my blog because it's attached to my PayPal account and it's got my name on everything. A faceless brand or a blog persona, you can just, and this course taught you how to, I think it even had a spreadsheet that you wrote all your passwords down to all these things, this fake persona. I thought that was a little bit disingenuous. It makes it easy to sell the website, but when you're trying to gain trust from your audience, I think it's bad juju to claim you're somebody else. I mean, to get right down to the heart of that question, I think if you're really trying to connect with your audience and be sincere, you need to be who you are and not put up a fake picture and a fake name and fake email addresses. I mean, my radiology site is my career. It's what I do. I give conference talks at annual conventions. I want my face on it. I want people to know that that's me. And as time goes by, more and more people are reaching out to me through LinkedIn and other venues because they've seen my website and my face is on it. So, I mean, it takes some time to build up traction, but there's a reason to put your own persona. If you're going to do a blog mill and crank out blogs just to make them and sell them, which is fine, I have no issue with that. It's a business, but I think it'll be harder to connect with your audience. Like my kayak site, I put on there, if you ever are in the neighborhood of Twin Falls, Idaho, and you want to go kayak the Snake River, I'd love to show you everything I know about the Snake River down here. It's so cool. I couldn't do that if I had a fake blog persona, or if I did, I'd have to admit to them, hey, I know it says I'm Mike Johnson, but I'm really Ron Jones. So when you get here, call me Ron, not Mike, or whatever. I want to connect with the people that I am writing these blogs about, because it's about things that I like, and that's why I put my face or my wife's face. We're both on the kayak site. So there you go. I personally would like to avoid doing YouTube altogether, or at least to outsource it. Man, I get it. I hated it. I didn't want to get on it. I feel like I look stupid. I got Mickey Mouse, and who cares anymore? I don't care. If I've got a nose hair sticking out, whatever. I don't care. I'm here to provide information. Hopefully it has value. If it doesn't, click and go somewhere else. Don't worry about YouTube. Do what you got to do. But if you want to outsource it, do that too. I did Content Samurai for probably 30 of my videos. Content Samurai, I used to preach big about that too, and I still recommend it. You just take your content, drop it in there like a copy paste, and it splits it up onto however many slides are necessary, and you can add sound, you can add your voiceover to it. It's got all these different templates you can use, and it creates the video for you. Go check out my YouTube, the radiologictechnologist.com is the channel. Well, that's the blog, and the channel I think is just the Rad Tech, but you can find the channel on the blog. And what is the single most valuable advice you would give someone starting out? Stick with one blog. Stick with one blog, because you're going to have all these ideas. I came out with, I wanted to do keto because it was helping me lose weight, and I wanted to do kayak because I love to kayak, and I want to do radiology because that's my thing. And, there's all these things. And I thought, if I don't go buy the domain names now, somebody else is going to buy it. And then once you buy the domain name, you start having ideas. You think, well, I need to put those ideas down before I forget them. So you get the hosting. Before you know it, at least for me, I think I had 4 or 5 blogs going. And you really should follow a plan, put all your energy into one. And, if I'm going to be honest, I'd say do a journey post like what we're doing here on Black Hat World. Because I have had 50 plus people give me advice that was spot on, that was stuff I never would have thought of. And this is a free community. I recommend, looking into some of the paid memberships. Mine's actually lapsed right now, but there's a junior VIP on there as well. I support Black Hat World and the community and all the help that they've given me. And there you go. So I don't know, is there a timer? 19. Took me 19 and a half minutes to answer your one post, brother. I hope it helps. Maybe you can go to my YouTube channel and hit like and subscribe or something for me. And hey, I'll see you on BHW.